Okay. Hi, everybody. So I'm making this recording mainly because I didn't know what I was doing with all of this. So I thought instead of making other people try to go figure all of this out again on their own again, I'll record and share what I've learned. So this is going to be focused on how to deploy Terraform state files inside of GitLab. So let's take a step back. I'm not going to go through all the steps of Terraform and all of that. I'm just going to highlight a few things of when you run Terraform commands. You can apply, it can send, but then when you create those resources, Terraform, unless you have a state file, won't remember that it created those resources. So then when you try to deploy Terraform again, you'll get an error saying the resource already exists. And so the state file comes in saying, hey, Terraform, remember, this is your resource. So if you think of this in more like AWS SDK, I'm from AWS, so like, that's my vernacular. GCP SDK, same thing. You have this stack where it's a direct correlation between the resource and the infrastructure as code, and they're tied together very closely. And so with that, it's just like, all right, that is great. That is what I'm doing. Sounds good. And you don't have to worry about importing it because it's all managed through code. With Terraform doesn't have that strong connection. And so that's where state files come in handy. Now, what's interesting is with state files, you can do all of this and store the state file remotely. So you can create local state files. So if we look under here, we can literally see Google. So here's a bunch of stuff, but where is my state file? I don't think I even deployed this once yet, which is why there is no state file. But with that, the state file would be local. So if I'm working on this just myself, okay, that's fine. But what if I work off of another machine? Or what if I'm working with someone else? When we're deploying changes in the infrastructure, we're going to get conflicts. So instead, when you do a remote state file, it's think of it like a mutex lock where when someone starts changing the infrastructure, no one else can change it until that change is complete. And then when they try to change it, they now have the newest state file. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do it. You can like throw it into a GCS bucket, an S3 bucket, Terraform Cloud. But at GitLab, we recommend doing it through GitLab. GitLab has a feature for state file management. So basically, I'm going to show you a couple other things besides Terraform state files for to start with. You can see there's already a lot of code here and it's a little messy and I got to clean it up. This is literally the first time I'm deploying it. I literally just watched like hours of YouTube videos of how to teach myself how to do this. So I promise you, this is not going to go swimmingly. I'm going to mess up several times. So you get to mess up with me. Congrats. You might want to just go on like twice the speed and it might be easier. So again, you're also going to see some secrets because I just realized you can see this on my screen, the sneezy personal access token. I'm rotating that before I publish this video. So like, don't try to use my personal access token. It's going to be gone by the time you see this. But one thing that I don't like already is for this, you have to actually set Terraform specific variables. So TF HTTP username, TF HTTP password, which is the project personal access token, you have to set those. The issue is I don't want one personal access token for all of my projects. I feel like it's just bad. It's just opening yourself up. There's a very wide blast radius. So I found something called direnv, where it basically allows you to have environment variables per directory. And so some things can be like across your entire platform, like TF HTTP username is always going to be coding Eli for me because that's my GitLab username. But my password is going to be a different personal access token per project. So you can see I already have Sneezy Pat. I'm gonna have one for Sneezy, for Dopey, for all of the dwarves. We can talk about my dwarf project later. But one thing I need to do is just set this up. So I already installed direnv. Oops, no, go back to preview. Thank you. I already installed it, so we can skip that part. I already added it to my ZHRC. So now what I'm doing is I just need to create the file. So if I go into the example, so this is the example. I'm just going to copy this. Actually, I can just do it here. CP. .env to .env. Okay. Review is blocked or under allowed to approve its context. All right. So it's basically saying, hey, you never said that I can use this as an environment variable. That's fine. If I look at it now, you can see, okay, it's going to take certain information. So this is trying to take variables from a higher level file from my ZHSRC. Instead, I'm just going to put them locally. So the way I do that, actually, let me allow this first. So to allow it, I just do dir env allow dot. And so now what I just did is I basically said, computer, when looking at system wide variables or environment variables, go ahead and use this, start with this directory before looking farther out. And so now if I do echo, and then if I do tf underscore HTTP underscore username, I get coding Eli. And the reason that is because it's pointing here, but you can see this is pointing to a different one. If I were to change this to fake Eli and I hit save and then I do it again, whoops. So every time you change it, you have to just do allow. But now you can see it says fake Eli. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fill this in with the right information. So this is gonna be coding Eli is my username, and then my sneezy pat. I'm gonna leave this just because. Actually no. Echo sneezy pat. All right. So again, yes, this is a personal access token. Yes, I'm recording this. No, it is not going to be active by the time you see this. So please don't yell at me. Okay, so now I need the project IDs for GCP, and then it looks like account credentials, blah blah blah. Okay, so for GCP stuff, I have two different environments. I'm just gonna go pull those real quick. Sandbox. So I have a dev and prod environment for the dwarves. Right now, I'm just on my browser pulling GitLab Sandbox UI, so I can just grab the project IDs. Here is dev, yay, and here is prod. Okay. Now, let me double check one thing before we execute anything else. The thing I'm going to check is make sure we have all of the variables we need set. Yes, 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 yes. Continue. Okay, I need Sneezy. Do 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 do. Where's Sneezy? Where's Sneezy? Oh, it's under this group. I have to find it. There's Sneezy. Okay. If I go to Terraform, under, so here we go. Operate Terraform states. And so right now it just says there's nothing there. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is basically I need to initialize it to utilize the backend state. And so I need a GitLab access token that has access to this repo that is different. Actually, no, that should be Sneezy. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy TF state name. So I need TF state name as well in here. This is why I was double checking. Export TF state name equal to default. Yay. Oh, double quotes. Default. Yay. All right. So that should be good. And now I'm going to go ahead and just refresh the variables. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and copy this. All right, so this is the command. So state name, yes, yes, yes. This is the Sneezy project. But instead, I'm just going to have it use this access token, exit. Let's see if this works. Okay, it's not going to work. Oh, yes, it's going to work. It's in the Terraform folder already. Okay. Command Terraform not found. Oh, that's not good. Terraform. Okay. Well, that's not good. Well, brew, install, Terraform. So, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this on this laptop. Gonna be some kinks. So, you don't have Terraform, install from brew. Yay. Okay, let's try this again. Yay. Okay, so what it's doing is it's now initializing everything. And so now everything is initialized. Now if I do Terraform plan, unexpected. Okay, so I broke something. That's okay. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so my Terraform lock file, I gotta just delete a lot of this. This was old ways I was trying to do this. Move trash, thank you. I'm gonna delete the terraform and then my main file, backend. Okay, and so there's a little bit more documentation that I'm missing. Okay, so I need project ID. Okay, so there's a few things I was missing in my environment variables. Let's go ahead and add them. Export. I can't not spell. Export. There we go. All right, TF username and password. All right, so my naming was wrong. I am pulling this from the official GitLab docs for Terraform state management, so I put it here. If you want to like stop the video and copy this all down. And then project ID, Terraform, old state name, we're just gonna call this Sneezy. And then delete both of these. My project ID number, where is good old Sneezy? Sneezy's project copy ID number. Yay. Okay. So we're gonna delete that. Thank you. Okay. So now okay, hold on. This is manage your infrastructure, getting started. Again, like I said, first time doing this, so apologies. You should probably just fast forward my troubleshooting because obviously I'm not doing well. GitLab, Terraform. Yeah, that's what I want. Why won't you just work? Wants me to use OpenTofu. I don't want to use OpenTofu. Okay, in your Ubuntu inner TF file like backend TF, Terraform backend. All right, so in my main, do I have, yeah, right here, Terraform backend. Beautiful. Um, just delete all that. Thank you. Okay, this should work. Okay, hold on. I think I'm just missing one other thing. Error requiring state lock. Terraform requires a state lock to protect the states from being written by multiple users. Please resolve this issue. Okay, so I think it's just because I don't have a Terraform state file, so Terraform init. Okay, it wants the backend. Ah, backend is equal to gross. There we go. And then this is gonna be sneezy. Okay, cancel, close. Backend is not expected. Address? No. Okay, so there is something I am missing. I don't want tofu. Go away, tofu. I just need to figure that out, and this is going to take me about 30 seconds, so just bear with me. I apologize. Change the backend. I just want simple, simple, simple thing. Maybe, oh, no, I don't want that. Go away. Okay. Main config address is equal to this. Okay, let's see if this worked. Config is not expected here. You know what? You're not expected here. All right, it's time to Google. Terraform, GitLab state backend config example. Okay, so let me try instead just removing that. X. We'll leave this empty. And then I'll init it. There we go. Successfully background, blah, blah, blah. Error refreshing. Still requires, yes, I know that. Why aren't you using, okay, so hold on. Where's my Terraform init? Here we go. TF state, this should all work. Enter. Change of background has been rejected, which may require migrate. Okay, so then I just need to add dash migrate state. It's basically saying move the one state to another, and now it's angry at me. Okay, so this is what happens when you try to do 50 things at once and nothing wants to work. Okay, so this, I don't need this. Get rid of it. Delete. Move to trash. Okay, we're getting closer, I think. Let's just try Terraform clean. No, okay, there is no Terraform clean. Um, okay, I don't know what to do here. So what I'm going to do is ask for help. Claude, come save me. Okay. So obviously something's wrong with some of my code. It's looking for an existing state file. And I think that's the biggest issue is because I never did this initial state file, and so I need to do the state file first. Yeah. Aha. Okay, so my environment variables were right the first time. So you were wrong, whatever I copied from. No. TF HTTP password. Yay. TF state name is going to be Sneezy. And now let's try this again. Copy. Still wanted to fail. We are working on this. All right. Address, export. Oh, I have to reload my door allow. There we go. Now let's try this. Still nothing. Why don't you? Oh, maybe it needs to be TF HTTP underscore username. Save. Invalid auth. Copy. Let's try this again. Doesn't want to work. All right, so it wants to read this. Again, I'm rotating all of these creds right after this demo, so I am not super worried about it. All right, it's testing out the code, the token. Okay, so it tested the token and it worked. Ah, and let it keep going. A backend authentication is different when personal authentication username should be specific. Check. This is why AI is useful, because this would have taken me forever. Oh, it could be a permissioning issue. All right, invalid thing. Solution use reconfigure instead. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna trust you. Don't let me down. Reconfigure. Okay, so it's a new thing. Let me try copying this. Clear, paste. Okay, still getting invalid. All right, let's see what it makes of this. So it's a different error now, but it's still getting invalid. All right, so it's probably token permissions. The token I made for Sneezy was not up to snuff. That's, yeah, so it's trying to do these calls. Okay, so let me go ahead. I'm going to check my personal access token for Sneezy because that's my guess of why things are broken. Settings, access tokens. I initialize access tokens specifically at the project level, so that way I don't have to worry about super level access. Okay, navigate. And write repository. All right, so it only had API. I needed to do both. All right, so I'm going to revoke the token. And now add new token. I'm going to call this Terraform. And then well, it's going to be developer. And then is this going to need API access? Oh, and it should have maintainer role. All right, that's good to know. So API and maintainer. Is that it? Okay. All right, let's create the project token. All right, so here's my new token. Yeah, okay. Save that. Refresh the environment variables. Let's try this again. Hey, it's working. We're so happy. All right, Terraform plan. Come on. GCP project ID. This will be dev. Okay. All right. So it worked. Now we have a different issue. Terraform GCP project ID. Could not find default credentials. Okay. So this is not the issue. This is a different issue. I'm gonna have Claude help me fix this too. But basically I don't have the right credentials for my GCP project. And I think I just forgot to set that up. Because I think these are brand new accounts that I just got created. Yes, list my auth. Again, all of these credentials are about to be rotated. So please don't freak out and be like, he's sharing credentials. No. Okay, I want to do project specific logins. So updates are available to install them. Let me update first. Do you want to update? Yes. Do you want to continue? Yes. Ooh, look at these pretty updates. Update all of my pretty commands. Do, 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 do. Okay, now I'm now in my specific project config. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to log in. Continue. My browser popped up asking me to do all of this. All right, I'm now logged in under project. That makes me happy. And Google Auth application default login. And I run this one more time. Okay, so now let's do Terraform plan and this project ID. It worked. Okay, so basically it's about to deploy a bunch of resources. I'm gonna just go ahead and deploy it because I want to show you what the state file looks like. So I'm gonna do Terraform apply, put my value in. You can customize these values. For some reason, it's not picking up my environment variables, but I'll fix that later. Okay, so now it's creating all of this stuff. A function, some buckets, all of this good stuff. So instead of needing to import it every time, which if you look at my CI while we wait, you can see I have builds, but then validates. Do I? Oh, I don't. I already updated this to not need to import all that. Yeah. Okay. Something's happening. No such file or zip. Okay. That's mainly because I didn't create all of those stuff I was supposed to because there needed to be a zip for it to upload, blah, 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 blah. But let me check to see if it produced anything in the Terraform state. Because if so, then this demo is good. It did. Okay, I'm gonna switch screens. Share. How do I switch screens? Oh, here we go. Google Chrome. All right. So this is Sneezy. To find your Terraform states, so this is the main package. You go under operate and then Terraform states. And you can see here is a Terraform state. And I can look, I have to download the JSON. Oh, I don't like that. Why can't I just look at it in console, in the UI? This makes me sad. Okay, fine. Be that way. All right. Well, so this Terraform state is there. And so if we go ahead and open that, nope, that's not what I wanted. There you go. Open, open. All right, let me switch back to VS Code because that's where it opened. Okay, get rid of this. So we can see here, this is the Terraform state file. So this is the normal state file you would have locally, but instead it is remote. So now if I do Terraform plan, put the project ID in. So you can see there are some things that already exist. It checks to see, oh, these resources already exist. And so now every time I do this for this project, it will use that as basically the known state of it. And so it will be a whole lot easier to manage my infrastructure now that it's all stored in a GitLab remote state. And when you're using GitLab CI/CD, it automatically pulls in the state file. So this is, yeah, delete this. This was a horrible demo, but hopefully it got you something. The goal is you learn something. That's the goal. But basically, using the HTTP backend and using direnv allows you to customize your environment variables, and then you can store the Terraform state files, especially when you're collaborating, and it should work. So hopefully this was useful. If not, well, you probably logged off by now. But yeah, and here's the Terraform state file local. So there is a local one that it created, but the local one is saying just point at the remote one. And so it always uses the remote one. It's a better way to store your state files, especially for cross-platform, cross-device, and cross-human. Hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully I saved you some time on Googling on how to teach yourself how to do Terraform state files and do all of this. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, everybody.